Hello YouTube. So about 3 or 4 months ago I did a red apple vampire crab video and I was asked to do an update, so I'm doing my update. These are red apple crabs, or red apple cherry crabs. They are a land species of crab, so they're not aquatic. They can be aquatic, but they prefer to be on land and they do water. So this species is fairly easy to keep as long as you have the right requirements. I keep these in, do like a scan, a completely soil setup with a water bar, which is it's quite a big water bar. I have to fill that up every other day. Make sure it's clean every day. It needs to be clean today. They also get fed on multiple different types of food. So 1 week I'll feed them in like a turtle and terrapin food because it's got krill and some aquatic flakes and stuff, and pellets, as you can see. See if I can find the pot here. I took it out of one pot to put it into another, so it comes in like this. Dry food, and then when you moisten the tank, they actually get really soft and the crabs enjoy it. They also get fed on lettuce, cucumber, any sort of mixed leaf, really. They're not fussy eaters, they just eat as much as you can. The only problem with these is when you feed them, you've got to be careful what you're feeding them, in a sense that they will take it back to their den, and when they take it back to their den, it's going to rot. And in this here, we have 6 crabs. At the moment, only 3 of them are out. There's one here. You might not be able to focus. One up there, and one here. So with this species, if you have 1 crab, you're never going to see it as often as you want to. If you have 2 crabs, you won't see them very often. If you have 4 or 6, you'll see them all the time. In this tank, they're pretty much all males. All males. I have 2 females as well, but they're up in a different enclosure due to the fact that the males have tried to rip her legs off, so they're currently in a different enclosure. With these crabs, you need to think about your housing requirements. So with these, I use a fine, loose compost, which is very rooty and it can be compacted, but when the crabs dig, it also holds its shape and it also holds moisture really well. So what I've done is here, here there's about 2.5 inches worth of soil, maybe 2.5 inches or so. Going towards the back, it gets shallower, but because of everything that goes over the top and stuff, it gets deeper. So there is more than at least 11 tunnels here, and the reason for that is because they're all males and they have to have territory, and if one crab goes into another crab's territory, normally gets chased out and it's not normally happy. As you can tell by that one up there, is just sticking by a hole. So we'll show you all the holes and see if I can see any of the other crabs. So we have a hole here, we have a hole here, a hole here. So that is all one connection, so that crab has that whole entire section. We then have a hole here, a hole here, and a hole there. There's one underneath that, there's one up here, and obviously you've got this whole entire backdrop system here. So these crabs will dig and dig and dig and dig, producing tunnels and tunnel systems. So I have designed it so that obviously they can dig, but I can actually still see towards the back. With these, you have to spot clean them because they take food to their dens, and the last thing you want to do is any rotten food, mites and stuff getting into your enclosure. So I have, other than it's like 2 or 3 little dens that I can't access, which is this one here and this one up there. So yeah, basically it's a system I've made here. You won't be able to see very well. I'll see some of the light, but all the way across there and then all the way across to the back is all a tunnel system. So one crab will have that system, another crab will have a different system, yeah, and that's how they work it out. Most of them, they are quite sociable crabs. I've actually had other crustaceans in with these, and they've been fine with them. I did try to make a bio system where I could have like fruit beetles and obviously the crabs, African land snails and stuff, and it did work for a while, but the crabs decided that they were going to gang up on the fruit beetles, and they pretty much ate every single fruit beetle that was in here. So I gave up on that idea. I did have a giant white African land snail, but crabs become lazy and decide to sit on the African land snail shell and get their way around the cage pretty quick. Also, they can hang on to the shell and escape easier, which is not very fun. So yeah, when males fight, they do make a weird rattling sound. So you will hear it when they do decide to. Also, they do the same when they're about to breed. As you can see by this male, see if I can. There we go. I mean, they have got very weird characteristics and personalities. They're not the sort of crab that you want to sit and hold. I mean, you can, but they don't really like it. So yeah, so that is my update. I'm going to be doing an update every 3 months just to tell people what I'm doing. I have ordered loads and loads, well, about 13 live plants to go in here. Eventually I want it so that the crabs are in a completely tropical environment. I've also been making a background to go in the gap that's here, so that way it completely like a natural landscape. Let's see what happens. So yeah, that is my update, and thank you for watching. Any questions, please comment.